Fear, ego, ignorance. Let's talk about it. I can forgive fear. And I can forgive ego. I can forgive ignorance. All three at the same time is challenging. I'm just telling you, it's challenging. Now, let's talk about fear. When this Kobe Cooties hit 4 or 5 months ago, I got the fear. What I mean is I got it. I overstood it, understood it, stand under nothing. But I had an understanding of people's fear. You know, if you're hit with something you're not prepared for and you don't know where to get information, and you trust your doctors and you trust your favorite newscaster, I understand there's going to be some things you're fearful of. I get that. You have had enough time between all the time spent on your phones, your tablets, your laptops, to be over this fear by now. You've had enough time to get some information. So if you wasn't studying this stuff before they dropped this stuff, and you're not like some of us who've been going back to early Dr. Delbert Blair and early Dr. Sebi. We've been into that for a long time. When y'all were on page 1 reading the Tawana Brawley story, most of y'all don't even know who that is. When y'all was on page 1 in the late 80s reading about Tawana Brawley, we were on page 7 reading about this foreigner who went up in the Supreme Court in flip-flops and kicked their behinds in court, Dr. Sebi. So I get it. You're catching up. So if you were fearful during this whole outbreak and they're trying to come back with round 2, I get it. There is no reason for the level of ignorance in the sense of the word, meaning not knowing. Not saying and doing dumb shit, just not knowing. There's no reason for this level of ignorance with all of this information floating around. I get it. A lot of the information that's floating around is bogus. I get it. But if you was meditating and tapping into your inner selves and stuff like that and getting your quiet time in and grounding and stuff like that, your doorbell that I call the ring of truth would be stronger. It just would be. It'd be stronger. And you would have more discernment. You would be able to navigate through this information and feel what feels good and what doesn't. What language of vibration, you'd be able to do it. Work on that if that applies to you. The level of not knowing is amazing. It is late in the game. You've never seen Trump in a mask. And I know one of you is going to research and find 2 or 3 pictures of Trump wearing a mask. Good luck with that. I hadn't found it. He's not playing along with that shit. He told y'all months ago. He told y'all right before he introduced Pence to speak. And for you Bible thumpers, nothing wrong with you Bible thumpers, but when they talk about the trumpet, marching around and then blowing the trumpet, and then the wall's coming down, your president is Trump, your vice president is Pence, Trump Pence. Let that marinate. Right before he introduced Pence, he told you, they told us we had to shut it down. He just let you know that the whole thing was a scam. He said it without saying it. He said, and it went over your heads. And I'm gonna find that link because it ain't hard to do. You just have to Google it. It wasn't that long ago. It was like 2-3 months ago, and attach it in the description later today. Because you missed it. I didn't miss that, and people like me didn't miss that. We said, "Whoa, he just said this whole thing's a charade, it's a fraud." Now, I'm not sure what's going on with, all of the higher ups, that are the Vaticans and all these people that are supposedly getting locked up and all these indictments. Time will tell on that. I have evidence to suggest that that's happening. That people are running for their lives with this whole Pizzagate child stuff. Okay, including judges and child protective services. Wink, wink. Child protective services. We see you, Florida. We coming for you. We coming for you. Okay. Open your wallets, not the taxpayer wallets in Florida. Open your wallets. We coming for you. Okay. Tell Violet I said Daddy says hi. So fear and ignorance, I get it. Fear, ignorance, and ego. My gosh, a lot of you had enough time to become more aware during this and say, "Whoa, this ain't adding up," which is cool. We like that. We like that. But if you made mistakes, if you had, and what I mean mistakes, if you had family members who told you from Jump Street, do not wear a mask, you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide, and your oxygen levels going from 20.5 or 21% down to 17.5 with that mask on, and that is dangerous to your health. Please don't do that. If you had relatives telling you that and you were like, nah, I'm wearing these, I'm staying in the house and I'm wearing this mask and I'm not going outside, and you did all that, you stayed in the house for months, messed around, some of you got sick in the house and really got scared and start looking for people to blame. Oh, this person made me sick. This person made me sick. It was a lot of that going on. Because you don't understand what a cold and a virus is. You don't. When your environment changes, there's a reaction. And colds and viruses are the equivalent of you doing laundry. Cells in your body are going to be washed and cleansed. And when that happens, you're going to experience some discomfort. And y'all think that's a bad thing. You've been trained to think having a fever is a bad thing. Oh, I got to get Tylenol, stop this fever. You are medically delusional. No, I don't have a medical degree. And no, I don't seek one. And the thing is, there's just some things at this point that you can look up for yourself. Instead of believing somebody in a stethoscope in a white coat that's been, MK Ultra in med school. You can't get through med school without doing what they tell you to do. My gosh. You can't. They got a weeding out process. They do the same thing in law school. Look up how many people drop out the first year of law school. They only want a certain mindset, a controllable mindset. They don't want no independent thinkers with medical degrees. The independent thinkers with medical degrees come up missing. Suicide in the back of the head and heart attacks and weird car crashes. Look at all the doctors in Florida in the last year and a half that have died mysteriously. It's the more you look, the stranger it's going to get. That's insane. Back to fear, ignorance, and ego. So you had your fear. Got it. You had time. Some of you had enough time to come into an understanding. It's like, whoa, something don't add up right here. The people in Wuhan, they fell for that, that money thing. Oh, we got to stop using paper money because it's going to be contagious. We weren't falling for that here. They wanted to play that card here, and they're still going to find a way to play that card to get you off the dollar and onto they mark of the beast vaccine crap. But they got to tiptoe because there's too many regular folks. We're not special. None of us. We're not special. We just have a Y disease. We're not just doing something because you say do it. Are you kidding me? This is my body. My mother, my father made this body. You didn't have anything to do with it, Fauci. You didn't have anything to do with it, Bill Gates. Maybe I should say Billy Gates, because word is Bill Gates is a female and Melinda Gates is actually a man. That's the word. But, you know what I'm saying? I haven't dug too deep into that. I dug deep enough into it to feel comfortable saying it in this moment. But since Melinda liked to be on TV, maybe I should call her Manlinda. And there's nothing against transgenders. It's just that, I just hate the deception. This is, I'm saying, just be who you are. If that's what you rock with, just be who you are. Bill Gates, if you female, the world problem, it's a good idea for us to know that. I mean, you're trying to inject the whole world with your $1 billion vaccine, something you made billions off of. Maybe we need to know a little bit more about you. Was it you, Billy, who had those kids? Did Melinda put those kids in you and you had those kids? Listen, don't make me look into that. Are you insane? Don't make me look into that. And don't let me pose that question to somebody like a young Pharaoh in upstate New York, wherever he's at, because he is reckless. And he doesn't need a whole lot of reason to be on your ass anyway. And if he should get wind that you might be female and Melinda might be man-Linda, he will dig so far into that. When he's done digging on you, he'll know your whole genome code. Oh my gosh. So if anybody's a young Pharaoh subscriber, ask him that question. Ask him. That's something, I don't mind being proved wrong on anything. But since I went left of this conversation without having any backup to go left, other than what I've come across to make me feel comfortable going left, if one of your young Pharaoh subscribers actually catches this, ask him. If you got a minute, look into that, because young Pharaoh research is way better than most people. It's facts. He's young, he's reckless. He get in that ass. If he gets the scent, he gonna get in that ass. Having said that, I can forgive you for your fear. I can forgive you for your ego. I can forgive you for your ignorance. But all three is challenging. You've had enough time to realize that a lot of stuff that you were running around believing, spraying your whole house up with Lysol and all this other stuff, it doesn't make sense. You had enough time to see that going outside is not going to kill you. Oh my gosh. Breathing in your own carbon dioxide, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a slow death. Okay? You've had enough time to come across that information. Did your ego get in the way? Were there loved ones that you pushed away because you were scared to get Kobe cooties? And now that you learned some new information, is your ego keeping you from reconnecting? Or is social distancing making you socially distant? Remain socially distant. And social has nothing to do with anything medical. Not one thing medical. And now they got the nerve to say, well, the 6 feet is not enough. It needs to be 30 feet. I think they're just testing to see how dumb some of you actually are. How brainwashed some of you actually. 30 feet? Oh my gosh, you're scared to death. I watched a video of a kid. And this is what you're doing to the kids is horrendous. Kid was wearing a mask, and the kid's mask dropped on the parking lot floor. Kid busts out screaming. And his pops was like, what's wrong? He's screaming. I dropped my mask. He said, pick it up, put it back on. He said, no, I'm going to die. I'm not. Like, now he's not wearing a mask. Now he's going to die. Oh my God. Now he's not wearing a mask. Now he's going to die. He thinks he's going to die because he dropped his fucking mask. Young kid. 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. It's hard to tell. That's child abuse. That's mental abuse. I'm not saying it's being done on purpose. What I'm saying is that's mental abuse. Children shouldn't be growing up with that kind of fear. It shouldn't be growing up with kind of fear. The children should not be breathing in their own carbon dioxide. My gosh. It's just, I'm struggling trying to get through to you. I really want to get through. I don't want to make long videos. I want to get through to you. You'll knock it off. You'll wake up. Wake up. It's just like one of those moments. Most of you may not know this. It's pimping. What's Cat Williams? The baby powder. It's putting on baby powder and slap you with the baby powder on. Psst. The baby powder is for the effect. So after you get smacked, the dust just dissipates. Psh. You'll wake up. Wake up. Are you kidding me? Wake up. Just as I was talking about a mask, a dude walked by with a mask on, and he's looking at me. But he knows I can't be talking about him. I'm speaking into my phone, and I just happen to be talking about masks as he's walking close to the car. My gosh. Pulled up, walking in this heat, breathing in his own carbon dioxide. For you Bible dumpers, that's not me. It said something about the end coming like a thief in the night. What's a thief in the night? What does that mean? That means when it comes, you're not going to see it. I don't care. Even if that is true, we're not getting into religion, but even if it was true, you're not going to see it because it says specifically a thief in the night. You don't see thieves coming in the middle of the night. unless you happen to be up by accident getting you a donut, or you happen to be sitting up constantly on guard. And you are not on guard. Very few of you are on guard. And it's going to come in a thief in the night. It's going to be right in front of your face. You're not going to see it. You're going to be lined up to get that vaccine because you're scared of the Kobe cooties. And in that vaccine might be a chip. You're breathing these chemtrails and all of these nanofibers that get activated for 5G. It's like a chessboard where they got all the... One player's got your whole king surrounded. And it's like very few places to move to avoid the hit. And not only do you not know the hit... Well, you know the hit's coming, but you can't see where the opposing team's players is on the board. It's like playing chess blindfolded for you. It's a challenge for us. We're looking and there's a lot of things we don't see. We are looking and there's a lot of things we don't see. I have concern for people who are not even looking, or people who are only looking for what's being reported to them through their televisions. So this is not gonna. I just can't go on a rant. Just the fear, the ignorance, the ego, all three together is challenging to deal with you. It's just no matter who you are, family, friends. I can address fear, false evidence appearing real, and we can have a rational conversation. If I tell you something, you tell me what you don't believe, I don't give a fuck. Are you kidding me? I don't give a fuck what you believe. I'm telling you what I know. You look up the OSHA regulations for oxygen in the workplace. It's got to be 19.5. Anything under 19.5, and that's federal, is hazardous for your health. What doctor in his right mind would tell you to wear a mask where your oxygen level drops under 18? All the masks, 18. Depending on the thickness, 17.4 to 17.7, 17.8. But all under 18. Are you kidding me? What doctor in his right mind would tell you to wear a mask over your nose and breathe in your own carbon to protect yourself from something that's so contagious you can only get it if you breathe in water droplets from 6 feet, now going to be propagandized to up to 30 feet away. You are a bunch of idiots. And a lot of you are going to die unnecessarily. It's unnecessary. Just share the video. You don't have to agree. I don't expect you to listen to something that I say and then say, you know what, that has the ring of truth, I believe it. Look into it yourself. Do your own independent research. Look at the number of COVID cases in the United States, more than anywhere in the world. You would think that the virus, this was ground zero, some nonsense. We have by far the most reported COVID cases than anybody on the planet, including the place where it started. All you have to do is follow the money. Follow the money. Check out the CARE Act. Okay? The legislation was passed to support a outbreak, a pandemic that had, the legislation was funded for a pandemic that didn't happen and was a year before this actually hit. They had already passed the legislation to approve the money last year. The Clintons are another set of dirty MFs, especially Hillary. Hillary, you got partied. That's another video. Bill Gates signed a $100 billion deal for the vaccines last year, before the pandemic hit, to include the chip that everybody's talking about. Well, not everybody, but people are talking about it. Are you paying attention? Do some independent research. That's it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. This is a whisper, friendly whisper. We here for you. We love you. We want to. Listen. The way that you have to stand up and say, no, thank you. That's all you have to say. No, thank you. No, thank you. There's an epidemic of people of all walks of life telling these road pirates, police officers, no, thank you. You ain't searching my car. You don't have authority for that. You kidding me? You wrote me over for speeding. Write my speeding ticket and let me go about my business. Some of them are getting just like, nah, you ain't writing me a speeding ticket. I'm not a driver. I'm a traveler. Drivers is commercial. I don't use this car for commercial purposes. You have no authority over me. I mean, some of y'all getting reckless with that. I love that energy. I really do. And you're recording it, and you're uploading it on. I love that, because even the cops don't know what your rights are and what they're not. Their ego has been out of control. Not all of them, but their ego has been out of control forever. They got a matter of fact. There's gonna be a different video. Fear, ignorance, and ego in law enforcement. That's gonna be another video. Yeah, that might be later on tonight, because I could stop this and start that right now and speak on it. It's the same thing. It's more dangerous because they have guns and pepper spray and electrocution devices and all kind of medieval crap. I wonder, what country is this? How is it legal for you to electrify anybody? You won't get out the car? Clear! Taser, clear! You don't know if the person you about to shoot has a heart condition or nothing. You're just shooting tasers. I get it. You got to get tased one time before you can carry that, and then recertified or whatever. So you might have gotten tased to see what it felt like. You need to be tased more often. Okay, you need to put those tasers down. The only reason why you got tasers is an intermediate. You used to have, your baton. You had all these levels of threats, and then your firearm. And they gave you another level of threat in between the firearm and your flashlight or whatever, the taser or whatever. That's something you don't need. You don't need a taser. If you can't talk to people, you don't need a taser. And if you have fear, you don't need to be a cop. And if you're so eager to reach for a taser because somebody won't get out of the car, you shouldn't be a police officer. You are a pussy of a man. You are a pussy of a man. And this is coming from a former police officer. I am a former police officer. I don't brag about that because it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. I became a police officer because I got tired of the way I was being treated by the police in my youth. I did that. And I wanted to know what the heck was the perspective that allowed them to think they can do and say what they were doing and saying. What I learned in my studies is that some of y'all are psychopaths. And since people are starting to find out that you don't have the authority you thought you had. You don't have the authority you think you had. You're being constantly embarrassed by these YouTubers who have taken the time to learn the commercial code and quotes commercial codes to you to teach you on site what you don't know and had no clue of. While you still try to enforce what you think you know about ordinances. There's no laws here. Not one law. There's no laws here. This is all commercial codes. It's not. You think you have power you don't have. Facts. But this is about to be longer than I wanted. I'm going to get to that. I may cut this last part off, and I ain't cutting shit. You deal with it. Thanks for coming. God bless you. Good day.